Hello everyone and welcome to another video, and today we'll be looking at the Core i5-2400. Now this CPU was not really made for gaming. It's the little brother of the very popular Core i5-2500K. These CPUs were found mostly in Dell and Lenovo pre-built desktop office PCs like the small form factor chassis, basically a low budget version of the 2500K. The Core i5-2400 is a second generation Sandy Bridge CPU on the socket 1155 with 4 cores, 4 threads, and a core clock of 3.10 GHz, also with a boost clock of 3.40 GHz. The CPU was not overclockable as it had a locked multiplier, but you could overclock it via base clock, although you won't get very far. Now these i5-2400s can mostly be found through second-hand resellers, because second-hand resellers will go to auctions where offices and very big companies have shut down, and then they auction off all their PCs and other hardware. These resellers will buy these pieces in bulk, strip them, and sell them off for parts. Now acquiring CPUs through this method also means that the second-hand resellers can sell their hardware for a lot cheaper, and this is why you can pick up one of these CPUs for about 250 Rand to 500 Rand, which is about $17 to $40. So before I talk a little bit more about the CPU, let's go to the benchmarks. Alright, so these are the specs that I used that was paired with this CPU. Please keep in mind that the RX 570, I just use it primarily to see if the CPU can still handle games and if it can still play games to the benchmarks.
Stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, want no fake. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.
Okay, so you want to hear the funny part about this is, actually what I did was I put my Core i7-3770 back into my system, I ran the benchmarks again, and I found out that the RX 570 was actually bottlenecking the Core i5-2400. I mean, if you look at these results, these benchmark results, you can see obviously the minimums are going up, but the average are all staying the same, which is a surprise because the Core i7 3770K is a 4-core, 8-threaded CPU, which simulates 8 cores. And most of these games, they want 8 cores at high settings. Obviously, you have to have a graphics card that actually is able to give you those settings. I would recommend using a RX 580 or RX 590. I think the highest you can go before you're going to bottleneck the CPU is a GTX 1070. Because also what I noticed is that the CPU usage on these games were all 70 to 80%. Some of them were even 60% compared to the Core i7. Obviously the Core i7 was 40% because it had more threads. Like I said, it simulates 8 cores, but at the end of the day, it's really not a bad CPU. I mean, if you buy one of these CPUs, get a cheap H61 board, even if you can get a Z77 board, this would be great. I mean, if you really are on a tight budget and you just want a game or just upgrade from like a dual core or whatever, this is really a good start for you. And like I said, you can get these on Carbonite, which is only in South Africa as far as I know. Facebook Marketplace, if you're abroad, you can get them on Facebook Marketplace. In South Africa, you can get them basically anywhere. So if you're just getting into PC gaming or starting with the whole PC master race thing, then this is not a bad CPU to buy for starter PC. And also this is second generation, which means whatever motherboard you're going to buy will support third generation with a BIOS update. So you can also go to the 3470, 3570K, 3770, 3770K as well, if you're looking for a bit more power later on. The third gen still has a lot of powerful CPUs in the series, which will only be bottlenecked by, I think, a 1080 or a 1080 Ti, so there's a lot of upgrade headroom as well. But anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, like always, please like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, as you guys know that running a YouTube channel in South Africa is not always easy, and as I'm buying all my parts with my own money, and YouTube having this whole 1,000 subscriber thing and 4,000 watch hours a month, it's really difficult to get started. So the subs will really be appreciated, and thank you so much for supporting me as well. For those of you that do, really appreciate it, and stay awesome.